We're pleased to announce that this episode of the 1878 FM podcast is sponsored by Green King Sport, where football is more than a game. Green King Sport venues are showing every single televised Everton fixture over the 23-24 season. And with more than 900 sports pubs across the UK, it doesn't matter where you're based, you can catch every single minute of the action. If you download the Green King Sports app, you won't just get 10% off all drinks anytime there's a match on TV, but this month there's also thousands of pints of free Guinness to be won and the chance to win one of 6 holidays. Hello, welcome to the 1878 FM podcast, episode 27. Me, Ped, and David Vitti. Dave, how are you, Dave?
I'm all right, thank you, Barry. Not bad. Peter, nice to see you both.
It's nice to have you, Dave.
It is.
It's nice to be here.
We never know when we're going to get you these days.
No, it's tough at the top.
Sam's sitting in a car park.
Why didn't we just have that? Would have been interesting to have Sam in a car
He
park.
said he was going on stage at 1:30. I don't know what he's doing. He
could have done.
And he said, I'll sit in my car and do it. And I was like, no, we don't want you sitting in your
That would have been
car.
funny, though.
I know, but
Could have got some stuff off him, what he's going, what
he's going through.
Bit of early content before he goes and delivers it.
Bit early for a comedy show.
Have I inconvenienced? Because, for those
No.
who don't realise, obviously, because you don't know what time this was recorded or indeed when, but we're about 15, 20 minutes late recording this. Have I knackered this in terms of Sam being on? Have I messed up his schedule?
No. Ped vetoed Sam. Ped called Sam into the office and said, "Not today, lad. This one isn't for you.
Yeah.
You get your head down, work hard, and maybe next week."
We the Premier League.
It's the Premier League of knackered this, Dave. Having to rearrange it.
Yeah. So by having kickoffs,
This kickoff,
we've got our slot now. We're going to get all 4 of us on at some point.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'd like to think that was next month. Next week.
Might not be.
Why now?
Because Sam might have something booked.
Avery's turning into Bush already, and he's only been on.
That was the thing, because I thought that I was straying into, semi-Bush territory, so to speak.
No. Well, hey, you stray into any kind of Bush territory. That's up to you.
I was thinking, you might be thinking, oh, God, here we go.
Not at all.
Bush on us.
No. You're the OG, Dave.
It's not because I'm trying to be a knob or anything like that.
No, we know.
Saying that Andy Bush is a knob, because he's far from it. He's a nice man.
He's a lovely fella.
We like him very much.
We do.
But what am I trying to say here? Yeah, I'm just conscious of the fact that I haven't been quite as available of late as I have been before that, due, entirely and primarily to do with work.
But I see that as like, because of Andy Bush, that's like his popularity expanding, that I think is due to this podcast.
Only this podcast?
And I think it's the same for Dave.
He did take half of the ideas for his radio show from here.
And Dave, you're increasing in scope all the time.
Dave, I just see things pop up, Dave, and like Damien Coulthard and things like that, and just think Coulthard, however you say his name.
David Coulthard, not Damon Coulthard.
David Coulthard. I was just going to say Coulthard, but that was a little bit like Vitti, Bush. That kind of, you just never know who Dave's rubbing shoulders with, so that's fine, no problem with that.
I just don't ever want you to think that,
Dave, we never would.
I'm ditching you for people who are
you've
maybe
hurt us
slightly more
You've
famous.
hurt us more than you ever could when you were in Liverpool and didn't bother to come and see us. So anything you do from now on, it's just is less.
That came across, to be honest with you. I mean,
there you go.
Those feelings were.
Yeah. Well, that's good. If we conveyed those feelings and you felt it, then that is good.
No, listen, Dave, you're in our eyes. You
hurt us more than you could ever know.
In our eyes, Dave, you're very much the talent of this.
You are, yeah.
Well, you see, but I genuinely don't see it like that.
Well, we do.
That's because you're grounded. That's because
you always stay grounded. You've always stayed grounded.
I see it as this is your show. This is what you do, and I am merely lucky enough to come along for the ride.
No, it's our show, Dave. With you very much part of the
thank you very much.
you are. Vitty can fuck off for now, like, but we'll not Vitty.
What? The inner fluid come out.
You know why? You know why it's come out? Because I'm remembering that day. I haven't got over him being in the city and not coming in. Imagine being in the city, Vitty in the city. That's what we could have done.
Oh, that's
the episode
right there.
No, but the episode could have been recorded.
Dave goes
in the city.
Vitty in the city.
Dave goes round the world Looking,
I've just thought,
looking for local radio.
What would have been good, Dave could have said when Vitty was in the city. Listen, lads, I've got a free 20 minutes, and we could have driven to met him at a location in like we could have gone all, James Richardson, couldn't we? We could have sat in a cafe somewhere with like a latte each and recorded a little bit. Ned could have filmed it on like a gorilla type on a phone, and the episode could have been Vitty in the city. Why do you think that inner thought come out? Because I haven't forgiven him.
I've got the sequel to that. Show. It's Dave going around the world looking for Andy, and it's called Vitty in the City looking for Bush.
There you go. I mean, it all works.
It works. It works. There's a play on words.
I thought you were going to say the sequel was Vitty in the City too. This time it's personal.
No, the first one was personal. Second time, we just know.
I mean, imagine how personal the second one would be based on the feelings that I generated from my first, trip.
And now you know as well. You're aware.
No, listen, it's fine. I mean,
it happened.
I remember.
I'll get over it.
Is hanging on by a
Dave, I remember that night. Yeah. The gated community were up in arms.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
There were riots in Wavertree.
Well, they don't have riots in the gated community. They just...
Garden suburb, thank you, David.
They just,
Wavertree Garden suburb. If you're going to give it the full title, it's WGS. Thank you very much, David.
Okay.
Right on the border of Childwile.
Gateacre.
Yeah, in Gateacre, yeah. I hate people who call it Woolton. I hate that. I went up to Woolton.
No one calls it Woolton.
Mate,
no,
Woolton.
No. I refuse to.
Who calls it that?
Just certain people and a few. Woolton, yeah. Sorry, what's...
There are people who...
What's a sheep covered in? It's not wool, is it?
No, you're right.
Gateacre does sound much, much...
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
I live in Gateacre.
Well, you know who called it Gateacre, don't you? The two people on that programme on Channel 4. The one that... What did he call?
Oh, Spencer. Phil Spencer.
Phil Spencer and Katie.
Kirsty.
No, sorry, Kirsty also.
We're on it today. They call it Gateacre.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because someone's told them we're going to Gateacre.
Well, it is. I mean, it is.
I mean, it really is Gateacre, isn't it? But we just go Gateacre.
It's like when you go to Anglesey and you go to Holyhead, but really it's Holyhead.
It's Holyhead, really, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Got a different connotation, that though, isn't it?
Exactly.
But,
let's move on.
Let's quickly move on. Everton have played this week, hence Premier League being knobheads moving games, and we had to record this at a different time. Dave, 1-1 Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace managerless with, although apparently managerless covertly because Oliver Glasner was given the team instructions for 3 days prior to the game. But hey ho, that's what happens. 4 of their best players out.
Didn't break the law.
No, he didn't. I know, but I'm fuming. I'm not really.
Remind me, by the way, when you've done this bit, I've got a guess who for you.
Oh,
okay.
It's related to this.
Okay, well that's fine. But it ended up with Everton needing to come from behind to get a point. I'm sitting here frustrated 2 days later that we have dropped 2 points at home in a game we had to win and should have won. How did you see it, Dave?
Largely the same, and bitterly disappointed to have not got 3 points, as you say, in a game that we desperately needed to get 3 points from, especially when you look at fixtures and where those points are going to come from. But the other side of it is, they could well have got nothing.
Yeah.
So, and that was my fear for, for certainly part of the game. So there was a certain sense of relief when they equalised. So I don't know whether that's making me feel more positive than I should do. Ultimately, we shouldn't be positive by it, but it could have been worse. We could have got nothing, and we could have still been in the bottom 3. So. I don't know. I mean, it's just a depressing time, isn't it? It's a worrying time. And when's the decision going to be, by the way, because I thought it was supposed to be last week, right? We discussed this. Last week was going to be a big week, and I thought, here we go, we're going to know. And then there was a announcement on Monday, wasn't it, saying that Everton could expect to hear the results of their appeal in the next 24 to 48 hours, which then made me think, oh, I know why they've done this, because they don't want everyone kicking off on Sky on a Monday night on the telly. So as soon as that game is done, then we'll find out, i.e. yesterday. And then here we are at the time of recording on Wednesday, and still nothing.
I remember a few weeks ago hearing that it was going to be the last week of February, and then, like you said there, Dave, it's been moved because people in the media have said it was moving, basically. And you're right, after the game on Sunday, I think it was on Sky, when they put the table up, they said, that could change in the next 48 hours, with Everton likely to hear. But I don't think anyone knows, and it's left us in this terrible limbo, hasn't it, with that and the ownership, and also when's the second one, and when are Forest having theirs. It's ridiculous, isn't it? It's like this big organisation, this huge organisation that is known all around the world, can't even set dates. Like, can't even say that it'll be out on this date and the second one will be on this date. That to me is ridiculous. And if we don't know, we'll give the ownership group till this date to make sure they get all. We'll give them an answer. It's like, this is a football club with fans all around the world that, and we just want an answer, and it just, as you mentioned there, it just plays into all the anxiety, certainly when you're at the game, and anxiety.
But also, it wobbles the entire integrity of the league, because it's not just us. It's the fact that everything in the league from top to bottom is all based upon, the exacting points of each side within that table structure. Now, if that table structure isn't accurate, which at the moment we don't know whether it is accurate or not, regarding our position and also regarding Forest's position, it just makes a nonsense of it. Where are we?
Yeah.
Are we 17th? Are we 15th or 4th? Who knows?
Yeah. And I know you mentioned there Forest have got to go through all this, and we'll have less time. I mean, I don't know whether that's better or worse, but they'll have less time between when they get something. You imagine they will get a points deduction between when they get it and the end of the season,
but they automatically go below Luton, because they ain't getting less than 4 points deducted, are they? There's not a chance, so they're below Luton already.
And that, as you said, it leaves everything up in the air. And if Sky are having to reinforce that when they're talking about league tables, and the asterisk is there, I know we've gone on about this loads, but it does play in the part in the anxiety, and people have questioned the atmosphere at the game on Monday. But it's really, when you're in there and what you're watching is the football's dross. I mean, I think we all admit that. I mean, whether you think Dyche has done a good job or not, the football is rubbish. It's not easy to watch. It's not easy to be on a ground on a Monday night when you don't really want to be there. Monday night games, to me, I've never got them, and really, as a country, we should have done what Germany done and forced them to stop it. It's dreadful. It's an excuse for for Sky to look back at all the other stuff that's happened this weekend. I know, oh my God, at 8 o'clock there's a game to inconvenience you.
It's a weekend mop-up, isn't it, really, for them, but also with the, hung on the fact that they've got a game to televise.
That's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we're in a perpetual state of limbo on everything, on the ownership, on, with the points, and you're still seeing nonsense stuff going round. See Forest fans we'll be all right because Everton will get, what Everton have done's well worse, and you're like, where are you getting this information from? Everton are between 9.5 million over and 19.5 million over. Well, you're like 50 odd million over for buying players.
What Forest have been. This is what happened with us when we got punished. No one actually knew what we were getting done for.
No.
And that's the same with Forest. None of us actually know what they're getting done for. I think that, again, that's a terrible situation to leave your fans in. But but there was a game.
So yeah, I mean, look, the manager afterwards was asked about whether it was a point gained or 2 points dropped, and he was very much on the side of a point gained. But I don't know whether to look at that correctly and go, you know what, it's a couple of days have gone by, it was a crap result, we should have beat them, we didn't, but we didn't lose the game. And me and Ped have often said in the last couple of seasons when it's been absolutely dire, we didn't draw enough games either just to keep the points target going, and maybe, I mean, obviously the minute Ayew smashes that in, a point is obviously better than getting none, because hey, it keeps Palace quite close to us, and it gives us that point that got us out the bottom three. And hopefully Liverpool's reserves can beat Luton tonight, because they've got loads of injuries.
Luton are a funny side, though, aren't they? I mean, that's the thing. And that's the well. Listen, it's a worry for us. It's credit to Rob Edwards and Luton, and if it weren't for the fact that if it weren't for the fact that we find ourselves in the same predicament because of the way that they do play and they've conducted themselves this year, you'd actually quite like to see them do okay. But I quite like what they're all about. But yeah, I mean, you look at the results that they've had of late, in particular, going to Newcastle, scoring 4 there.
Yeah.
In a game that none of us saw them having any chance, and it was a bit like, oh, it's fine, don't worry about it, because it doesn't really matter what we do, because Luton have got to go to St James's, on the Monday night or whatever it was. But yeah, what with Liverpool, with the Carabao Cup final on Sunday as well.
I guess the good thing though, Dave, the good thing for us is for Liverpool, they literally cannot afford to drop points. And that's the way it is. And Man City obviously won, so the City are right behind them now. So Liverpool really can't afford to drop points. So
it is interesting now, isn't it, Dave? When you look at Luton, like you mentioned there's a bravery about them, and what we saw on Monday is there's just not that same kind of bravery about us at all. We play.
Well, sorry to butt in, but it'll feed into that. We keep getting told Everton haven't got the players to be brave. Yeah, but I look at Luton and go, well, a lot of them aren't players that you demand Everton bought, but yeah, you're right, they play with a bravery, they attack,
again, what's interesting about that is it comes back to recruitment again. It's like the players we've bought in the last few years, and you're told, oh, you can't get any better than these. And Luton have a lot. Luton certainly would like bringing in Barkley for nothing and bringing in Townsend for nothing, and they have lots of pace, lots of mobility, lots of hard work. And I look at our team, and I know our team in reality is 10 points clear of that, but that level of bravery, we've swapped that bravery in a way for a defensive stability and being cautious. But what we saw the other night was, if you're too cautious, certainly at home and starting players like Young and starting with 2 holding midfielders rather than playing Onana, it can backfire, because we're not good enough to break teams down who don't want to be broke down unless it's going to be off a set piece. And we've seen that for ages. And yet Luton have come up with this way of playing that, okay, wasn't great at first, but it's now churning out results and goals. And I think when you can score goals, it gives everybody that sense that you're never beaten.
Yeah.
Whereas I think in a lot of games we play in, we go 1-0 behind, and even though it doesn't work out that we're beaten at 1-0, because we've been quite buoyant at times, but we haven't come back from 1-0. We haven't come back from being 1-0 to win a game. No. And I think there's that general sense that if we stay in games and it's 0-0, we've got a chance of winning. And I know that makes, that's been the thing under Dyche all the way along. But Luton just have that sense of bravery. And I think that reverberates around the fan base as well, thinking we're never out of a game.
Even Sunday, they were 2-0 down after 7 minutes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And then he battered United. And I think that's the worry for me, Dave, is that we've got games coming up that we have to win, and they're games that fans expect to win. And if we're going into them and we're looking, we haven't got that bravery and we look very cautious, that the fan base, I don't think will have that. I think they'll look at Dyche and go, you should be giving us well more here, because we're Everton Football Club. We're playing at home in front of 40,000 people, and we expect to have a go at teams that are below and around us.
But there was a time earlier on in the season where, rightly or wrongly, and it's a very negative way of looking, but I think we were sort of going, okay, well, things aren't great for us, but you can't see Luton getting past however many points, right? Yeah. And so almost that was, especially after the points deduction, it was like, well, do you know what? As long as we stay ahead of them, we thought Sheffield were done. Burnley aren't going to get out of it. As long as we stay ahead of Luton, then we'll be okay. Because we didn't think that they were going to pick up points on a weekly basis. That's not the situation anymore. It really isn't. And again, credit to how they play, and also credit to the fact that they've stuck with their principles and they haven't changed the way that they've played, and they are still brave and they are still attacking, and they do actually go for it. Even when they go behind in games, they don't give up. And now when you look at the fixtures ahead of us, and I'm not talking about comparing particular fixtures that we have as opposed to particular fixtures that they have, but as a general rule, if you were neutral, you can't look and kind of go, right, well, over the next half a dozen games, I think that Everton are likely to get more points than Luton, because you can't say that at the moment.
Yeah.
No, you really can't. And in fact, they're better to watch than we are.
Yeah.
So that's where it starts to get really, really sticky now. And
the home form, isn't it, Dave? The manager's done a fantastic job away from home, I think, making Everton very competitive in most away games. But at home, he's won 7 out of 21 Premier League matches. Now, 1 in 3 wins at Goodison isn't enough for a manager. No. We've been built for so many years, albeit since COVID, our home form hasn't been great. But David Moyes had, I know it's harping back to years ago, but David Moyes had a very strong home record. Marco Silva in his first season had a decent home record. Sam Allardyce, everyone hated him, but his home form was quite good. Ronald Koeman had a tremendous home record in the first season. Everton won 9 out of 10 Premier League games at the turn of the year in that one. Carlo, it was COVID, so it was weird because it flipped. But while he had fans, we were all right at home that year. But Rafa Benitez, Frank Lampard, and now Sean Dyche just haven't been able to garner that. And I don't understand. Well, I do understand, but the manager's got to come up with a way to try and increase this home form in the last 3 months of the season. Because if he doesn't, we will go down when you look at the away games. Because we go to Manchester United, we go to Chelsea, we go to Arsenal, we go to Newcastle, we go to Luton. They're not easy games. We've got Brighton at the weekend. Now, last year we went to Brighton. I honestly thought we'd get battered because they were flying, and we end up beating them 5-1. So we might pull off a couple of shocks because we do stay in games. And Chelsea should be looked at as a game that Everton can win, because the way they're so weird. They're better away, ironically, than they are at Stamford Bridge. But he's got to come up with something, hasn't he? He's got to, the management team and the players have got to come up with a way of playing. And me and Ped, we spoke about it yesterday on the final word, and it's intensity, I think, at Goodison. There's no intensity when we play. It's all... And it is sometimes because teams are sitting back, like Ped said before, but we've got to... I think you'll agree, the best home performances you've seen from Everton through watching Everton in your life have been ones where it's fast and frenetic rather than slow and methodical. I think so anyway. It's certainly what I think.
Well, it's things like, I remember the performance against Leeds a couple of years ago at home and stuff like that. It's those sort of games where...
And that was a big game that day, wasn't it?
It was a massive game, but those are the sort of performances that they need to conjure up. But for the most part, and I mean, last Monday night was a classic example. We're difficult to watch. We're difficult for us to watch.
Yeah.
We must be really difficult for neutrals to watch. I mean, that wasn't pretty.
Whoever decided that should have been live on Sky needs to be given a strongly worded email and possibly a verbal warning, because it was an absolute disgrace of a game of football.
Awful.
It was a twofer, though. It was to get rid of a game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A Palace game.
We were walking home. My dad said that only reason that could have been put on was just fill an obligation, because no one in the right mind could have gone... That'll be all right, Everton Palace.
But I think we have to adapt to the situation now, because I think we all agree. I think everyone agrees Dyche has done a good job to get where we are.
Terrible circumstances, yeah.
But we do have 20 points. We don't have 30 points. We have 20 points. And he's got to change something to get, just to like we were just saying there, just for those home games, just to up the tempo a bit, because it will get tricky. Luton don't think are going anywhere. And okay, the points thing still needs to play out, and that could be huge. If we get points back and Forest gets points taken off them, that could be a big swing. But then we've got a second charge, and we've got to see what that is as well. But you have to think, for me, it's like the job he's done is been good, but I think just something has to change now because of where we are, and I just think the first 15 minutes at Goodison, there has to just be a little bit more intensity, just to get the fans excited
and to unsettle the opposition.
Yeah. Oh well. Listen.
I mean, happy days.
Listen,
we're not in the bottom 3.
We might get some points back. I mean, we might have them taken again in a few weeks, but we might get some points back, and that might give the players a little bit of a bit more comfort. Luton, even though we're praising them, they have got, at the time of recording, Liverpool away and Aston Villa at home. Their next couple of games, so they're two teams that Liverpool are going for the title, and Villa that need to keep winning for that top 4. So You know, they could quite easily lose both of those games. I watched them get. It was weird because I watched them against Sheffield United, and Sheffield United battered them.
And
Sheffield United,
and that was a game that was a real concern, wasn't it? Because you kind of thought, Jesus,
well, they're not getting out of it.
Luton will do these.
And Sheffield United aren't getting out. They're gone.
No,
them and Burnley are relegated in my eyes. So therefore, Luton that day, I was thinking, and then they go and lose again at home. I know it was a much better performance, but was that because it was Manchester United at Kenilworth Road?
Cup final,
we'll see. We'll see. It's a cup final. But we'll see how the next two.
I think they're more likely to beat or give a team like Man United a game than maybe when they play Sheffield. But they're not going to play too many teams. Well, they're not going to play anyone that's below them at the moment, apart from unless we're below them when we go. So.
They've got Burnley, I think, in about a month. But
they've played Burnley twice. Luke.
Burnley
they played them twice.
Burnley beat them. They have got a team close to them. I was looking at the fixtures, but if it won't matter if we can't win these home games, it won't matter because they will catch us at some stage. And you know, I mean, if Everton were to go to Brighton at the weekend and get a unlikely victory, then I think on Saturday night, even though you'd go, God, we could have had 6 points, but you'd go, well, you know what, 4 points from those two games is all right, let's keep going. But I mean, I do expect us to get some points back, and that might just alter the conditions a little bit because we'll be a bit higher up the table. We'll see what happens. But
Dave,
give me a prediction then. If I had to push you on it, how many points do you think that we'll realistically get back?
4.
If you had 4,
I'm gonna say 5.
That's what a lot of people are saying. 5.
Based on what?
The Sheffield Wednesday ruling.
No, I don't.
That's what a lot of journalists are saying.
My inner voice.
Okay, a lot of journalists are saying because they kind of used the Sheffield Wednesday framework in the EFL. When Wednesday appealed, they got half points back. So they got 12 and got 6 back. So people are using that going, well, 10, we'll get 5 back. I think it'll be 4. Although the stuff again today I've seen, it's going to be 10 because the mitt. But again, it's all speculation. But 4 because I think they will say it's 6 points for a breach.
Yeah, maybe.
But then that's mad because then you'd go, well, we may as well have gone over by 100 million.
Yeah.
I'm being ninth now, where the 10 points didn't matter. So I mean, John, I've said this before on this, John, who we have on, John Blaney, who's part of this as well as he was like, it really should be a point for every 5 million you go over because that you then can understand the workings out. You look
well,
and
there
go,
will be some logic behind it, at least for now before they change the rules again.
So I don't know, maybe 4, Dave. What do you think? If you had to guess, if we were getting any, I know you might say we won't get any, but if we were to be given points, what would you say?
I now tend to think that we will get something back, which I know goes against everything that I said before, but just because. I don't know. There's just, there's been talk of it. So I do think now that we will get something back, but what that will be, I have no idea. I've no idea.
I mean, none of us know.
I would say a minimum of 3 points and anything up to 10.
Yeah, I mean,
and who knows? And given the logic which has been employed so far to actually get us to this shit show anyway, they'll probably kind of say, "Oh, well, it's 7." Based on what? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Based on what?
4 for this and 3 for that.
Yeah. I mean,
who knows?
It is crazy because we should all know. And really, the biggest thing for me, actually, Dave, is how it's explained why we've got it back because that affects the second charge.
Yeah.
So if we get some back.
But it also, whatever they do with us is going to have an effect on Forest. So it's not just trying to nullify, if you like, what could be deemed to be a mistaken decision for our particular football club. If it was just us who had been dealt with, and this was a way of actually trying to, wipe the slate clean and bring things straight again. Then, but it's not as simple as that because you've got Forest involved and they're going to be watching every word of this. And also quite rightly will then be going, well, hang on, if you took the points off them and then you've given them all back, supposing that scenario, right, and then Forest would quite rightly be going, well, hang on, what are you doing playing with us then? What are you going to do with us? And also, if you take points off us now in this season, are we to expect to have them fully reimbursed, for want of a better term.
The easiest thing for them to do would be give Everton the points back and
scrap the rest of it.
And scrap it and go, basically, we're coming up with a mechanism where it's...
We've got a new system
Yeah.
as of next season, which will be explained to everybody, and it will be clear and logical, and thereafter we'll all know where we are with regarding to financial breach. That would be the way that this would make most sense to me.
Absolutely.
But it's the Premier League,
No,
so
it
of course
is.
that won't be the case.
It's independent.
It's open-ended. Anyway.
Dave, what's your
guess who?
guess who?
before you
Oh
have to
yeah,
get
yeah. So
sucked?
I've got a guess who.
Go on.
So I was out on my bike on Sunday,
Okay.
and this was in the swanky riverside royal town of Windsor.
Nice.
And I saw somebody famous. You have to guess who it is. Peter, you're going first.
Is it football related?
Yes.
Was it David Ginola?
No, it wasn't David Ginola.
I thought that's where he'd be rocking up.
Famous, related
Because
to...
he's worth it.
Yeah,
He is worth it.
absolutely.
Just washing his hair in, the water
In
there.
the water, yeah.
Just like a fountain in Windsor, just washing it and shaking it. Well, it's got short hair now. Mark Bright.
No.
He said only because he said it's related to Everton Palace, so I thought.
Well,
ooh.
I did indeed. And it wasn't Mark Bright. I know Mark Bright, and I'd have said hello if it was him, but it wasn't him.
You didn't say. You didn't say. I didn't say hello to him. You just said I saw someone.
You're very right. I didn't say whether
Got you
I
on
made
a
any contact
technicality.
with them at all. But I can tell you for further clarity that I didn't make contact with this person. I observed them. I clarified that it was them
Okay.
in my own mind.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Okay.
Was it Yannick Bolasie?
No, it wasn't Yannick Bolasie.
Good shout.
You know.
Good shout. Need to speak to Yannick this week. Clang. Was he an ex-Everton player?
No.
It could be a Crystal Palace.
Well.
Well, you never know. Could be a manager. He never played.
Could be a ref.
No, he'd have surely pushed the ref over. Who?
Sorry, Ned's just shouting random things.
Shouting random.
Come on, he's got. Well,
what about you? It was your guess. I've just asked. Was it an ex-Everton player? My God.
But he didn't guess the name.
So Crystal Palace. Nigel Martin.
Is the wrong answer.
Oh, I thought because he's an
Wonderful
ex-Everton
player for us, Nigel.
He's an ex-player. God, this could go on all day. So I think we should have 3 guesses each, and that'll be it. Dave, will have to review.
I think you're looking a little beyond the obvious here, perhaps.
Really?
Little beyond.
Steve Parish.
No, but you're getting warmer.
Farhad Mashiri.
No, colder.
Okay.
Okay, so Crystal Palace related.
I'm trying to. I don't want to say someone who's dead. No.
They're not dead.
Okay. No, well, I know they're not
otherwise
dead.
you would have just seen a ghost.
Well,
That
you
would have
say
been a very different
you say that. They
conversation.
could have come to an untimely demise in the last 48 hours, and I'm confident that they haven't.
Was it Roy Hodgson?
Is the right answer.
Yes.
He was out and about on Sunday.
I saw Roy Hodgson and his wife walking down the street in, well, actually not Windsor, in Eton, actually, across the bridge.
You've got to
They
make
were walking down Eton High Street, him and his wife, and I definitely saw them.
There you
and
go.
I thought, oh, that's interesting because...
Well, it's good.
Yeah, it's good news.
Because I thought, well, that's interesting because obviously, he'll be at our place tomorrow night. And I was then sort of thinking, I wonder when they travel up. Do they fly up tomorrow? How does it work? All these kind of questions going on in my head. Do they get on a coach? I don't know.
There you go.
But I thought there was Roy Hodgson having a relaxing stroll and perhaps some Sunday lunch out with his wife on what was a largely nice day weather-wise. And then it all was very different when I saw the news on Monday that he'd stepped down, and I thought, I wonder if he knew then that he wasn't going to be taking that game, or was that something? All these things go through.
I think he probably knew on Thursday when he got rushed to hospital. He wasn't taking the game. To be fair to him,
Fair play to him living the high life for it.
So while Roy was just walking around doing some window shopping and eating, Oliver Glasson was apparently taking training.
There you go.
And
Dave didn't pap him.
Well done, Dave. Didn't pap the Hodge.
Well, that's an intrusion of people's privacy.
But good
isn't
to see him out and about anyway.
Yeah.
And he's doing all right.
Good stuff.
There you go.
Right.
That's my
Right,
guess.
that was good. The Guess Who was good. We'll try and do them every week, Dave.
Well, I mean,
make sure
you're putting pressure on me
Well,
to see
yeah.
famous people.
Well, anyone,
but
just say,
I'll try.
Guess who I saw this week? And it could be
if you
Gillian
ride your
Heard,
bike around places that are familiar, just go past the Ivy now and again or something.
Yeah. Okay.
see
fine.
someone.
You'll
Okay, fine. Like, that's his task. Right, Dave, we know your hamstring's getting a bit tight, so we're going to sub you because you're very busy. So great to speak to you, and we will see you next week. And who knows, we might have a clearer picture. We probably won't. But
might have Sam.
And Sam as well.
Might have a foursome.
A foursome and a clearer picture. So until then, take it easy, David.
Thank you, David.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello.
Oh, what an introduction that was. That's like, when you come on and the first touch is bad. That John Hill's touch, I like to say.
Yeah, John Hill.
Circa 19, whatever it was, 96, 7, whatever. It fell over.
No touch, it was like
Don't say Mo Besic.
Mo Besic against Chelsea.
But we'd already witnessed this first touch, which was tremendous in the friendly when
Garner's
he got the
touch again in the friendly.
When he just clattered the fella.
Yeah, give a penalty away. We were like, I'm not sure.
There we go.
There you go. Right, have we got some questions? In the remaining time that we have?
Yeah, well, Ned, what's your take on it?
I don't want his take. I'm not interested in Ned's
I'm
take.
just buying myself 4 seconds.
No, you should have been prepared like a Boy Scout. You must have been a Boy Scout.
I'm as if I was a Boy Scout.
What's the?
I was a cub. I was a cub.
Christian one
I was a
called?
cub for. I was never a nickname.
No, I'm just saying.
Fire boy.
A fire boy. What's a fire boy?
Fire boy.
Oh, is it a fire boy?
Choir boy.
Oh, choir boy. Yeah, you could have seen.
Because Baz sung as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that.
Professional singer there. Professional
You
singer.
should have heard them when he came in before.
Professional singer giving us some notes.
You know,
You're not in the Boys Brigade.
That was me Morrissey
just the
impression.
Boys Brigade.
The Boys Brigade. Oh,
I was that part.
no, sorry, that was the other lot.
That was the other one. That was on the other side.
That was the other side of the coin.
No.
Or the barricade, depending on where you live.
Spandau Ballet Day. Went through the barricades. This is a good one for Ned because I'm interested to hear his answer.
Yeah.
Have you ever pretended to be sick when you're perfectly healthy?
Where's the question from? Who?
I've got a few. No,
Who?
no one.
Oh, you've just
questions. I've got.
Oh no, that's.
This is from the other week.
No,
Go on, Ned.
because I'm often quite sick. I was a sickly child and I was in hospital, wasn't I? I was a kid. So.
Have you just?
That's not a badge
Did
of honour.
you like the attention?
All right. No, it wasn't attention.
Are you
So
sure?
I've got a story.
Go on. See.
So
Set
I
them
wasn't
up.
perfectly healthy, but I had something and it meant I had a lump in my neck.
Yeah.
And one time in school, I wanted to go home.
Yeah.
So I blagged that. I was in bad pain. And obviously, I didn't know what was going on at this time. My mum did. She'd been told what might be happening. I didn't. I was a kid. I was like 9 or something. So my mum comes to pick me up from school, crying her eyes out, thinking, with what's this lump in my neck and what she's been told. I didn't know what was going on. I just said, I've got to...
Which is not unusual for you.
So that was a bad
Tom
thing
Jones
to do.
thing.
I just wanted a day off school. My mum was crying and everything. Probably sick to death with
Do you
worry.
feel guilty that you'd upset your mum?
I got the day off school.
Do you think you might have Munchausen syndrome?
What does that mean?
What about Munchausen by proxy?
He wouldn't have Munchausen.
No, he wouldn't
that
have
would be
Munchausen
Jill
by
would have that, or
proxy.
Steve. But yeah,
So are you sure you've not got Munchausen syndrome?
Munchausen
Syndrome. Do you give us a guess at what you think Munchausen syndrome is?
ADHD.
No, because ADHD is ADHD. Munchausen syndrome.
I don't even know if it's. And I don't think it's. I think it's hypochondria.
No, it's Munchausen syndrome.
Where you just like you make yourself think that you're sick and you're not.
So it's a disorder imposed.
Hang on, do I ever have a day off sick?
No, but how many days? Be serious now. How many days do you come in here and tell me you're sick? How many days do you think?
Still come in.
No, how many days do you think?
No, but that's what I'm saying.
In the past
That's what I'm saying about Munchausen.
Probably like at least
Munchausen is like where you want people to care for you.
Right, you're 23 years of age,
look after myself.
and you say, by your own admission, although I would argue it's more, that you come in once a week and tell us you're feeling sick.
You're dying.
And that's not good.
I'll be ill.
Yeah.
And then when I start getting better towards the end of the week, I'll have a couple gigs.
Weird that, isn't it? It gets better, but
That's like school. That's like going into school saying you feel sick, and then at the end of the week, because you're playing for the school team, you start feeling better. Oh, no,
sure
but
I have a few chilled nights and stuff in the pub, and then by the end of the week, like I'll be up for my gigs, and I'm doing my gigs, but after my gigs, like my throat's gone, I'm coughing, And then I'm just like, oh.
You'll often come in and go, I've got the flu.
Yeah.
And I'm always knackered.
And you know, if you've ever got the flu, you wouldn't get out of bed. You wouldn't be able to. You can't lift your head.
Well, I have a cold often.
Okay. You just seem
All right, I just asked you the question.
But hang on. Hey. Do I ever not turn ups?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Turn ups, not turn ups.
It's more that it's not that you're sick.
Yeah.
You just want everyone to feel sorry.
That's
for
what
you.
I mean.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like, no, you know
then
what?
You just wouldn't say you were sick then, would
Ned, you know what it might be? It might be a subconscious thing because in your childhood, when you were sick, people give you affection, right? And you... No, but you can shake... What do you think subconscious is? If you were consciously doing it, you would sit in your car and go, right, I'm going in and I'm going to say I feel sick because then everyone will be all right to me. But subconsciously, you like that thing that people ask how you are. Are you all right? You feel all right? You need that?
It's more of a don't annoy me because I'm in a bad mood.
No, it's more of an attention.
So we're not allowed to annoy you?
I think I think it's an attention thing.
Do you ever think that you'd just rather be back in the womb?
No. Not now, because I'd hate it now, wouldn't I?
But it'd be warm, and you could just have a kip, and someone just literally feed you.
I'm too big now.
You're not that big. There's a womb. I think there's a womb out there for you.
Why not?
Oh my God!
You can't say that.
I know.
The thoughts
You can't
of
say
the
that.
thoughts of Mathew Lamb, aka Ned,
Can't say that.
are not the thoughts or
I'm small.
the opinions of the 1878 FM podcast.
You can't say that.
Right, I'm moving on because we're finishing.
God.
Shut up.
I'm small.
That might be the worst thing anyone ever said.
No,
in
he
this
said
studio.
worse.
I've said far worse.
Yeah, he
Not
knows.
out
Yeah.
loud.
Right, Ned,
camera.
this is the final one and it's for you. What do you think the world would be like if it was filled with male and female copies of you?
Hang on, male copies of them?
Both. Male and female copies of you. What would the world give us an overview of what you think the world would be like?
Female version of me be good looking.
Well, if the male one's not, then how's the female one going to be?
Well,
It's how you see yourself.
yeah, hopefully she wouldn't have a beard.
It's
An angry.
sick.
It'd be an angry world.
Angry? Are you angry? You have got anger issues, haven't you? What are you angry
What are
about?
you angry about?
I'm not. I'm just
You have the
angry.
cushiest.
I'd be angry at myself.
You've got the cushiest job in the world. You can play.
No,
you can
I'd be
play a mean guitar.
I'd be angry that everybody looks like
You
me.
actually don't look too bad in yellow.
Have you heard them? I'd be angry that everyone looks like me. Why? Why would that make you
It's
angry?
so confusing.
You'd have to have.
No, but
like
tell us what it. Just paint us a very because you got to paint.
You'd have to have with himself.
It'd be really hard to get work
He
if
likes
we all
that.
do the same thing.
Okay.
Like the football would just be boring because we're all the same level.
Yeah, but how would you know? That'd be boring. It'd just
But you'd all be
football.
There'd
professional
be
though.
some killer bands because I can play all the instruments, so we'd have some really good bands.
And you're better than that Sheeran, obviously.
What the worry?
Well, you're
Hang
not
on. The
cheering.
worry would
There'd be
be
no
though,
cheering.
if it was a world full of you, who'd be writing the songs?
I write songs.
Everyone, yeah, you write songs that people then want to jump off buildings
No,
for.
I've got songs with a band, which
You haven't got. You've
You haven't
never.
got a band.
Every song.
No. But in this world, the band is all you.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
your songs
we're
would be depressed
multi-being
because you haven't got. You wouldn't have people to go, Ned, that's depressing. Let's write an upbeat song. Would you?
yeah,
How? Well, why don't you do it now?
because not all of me would be the same me. The female versions of me would be different to me because they have different hormones and stuff. They'd feel different. They'd be like, no, I think you should do this, and I'd be like, okay, that's.
But they'd have the same
interesting,
talent
that's it.
and effort level as you.
But they'd have a different. They won't have the same singing voice. They'd have a higher.
But that's not the point.
Pitched voice, so they would be different.
So just in 37 seconds, just paint me a picture of what the world looks like if every one male and female was a copy of you.
The nature would be thriving because I'm quite generally a good environmentally person.
What do you eat, Jem? What do you eat on your butty then?
Ham.
Yeah,
So you've killed a pig.
you killed a pig.
No, but I
And
don't know how to kill pigs.
and
so-
do you keep animals in captivity or things in captivity?
No.
I mean,
Well, you do.
You do. So that's a lie. So don't lie.
No,
so go
it's
on.
not.
Go on anyway.
World of liars.
The environment would be amazing because he's
Amazing.
Like that,
environmentally
pal.
good. So go on then. Carry.
Because he goes for hikes.
Go on then.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of people hiking. Everyone would be fit. There'd be no like.
Hang on.
there'd be no obes-
Everyone would be fit. In what way?
There'd be no
In what
obese.
universe are you fit?
There'd be no crime.
Okay, that's a good
Hang
one.
on,
There'd be no hard crime.
Okay. Yeah, you have to change it. Yeah. I like that. The caveat. I like
It'd
that.
be subtle crime.
Okay.
In fact, no, I'd make the laws as well, wouldn't I? So in fact,
So people could drink and drive.
Car crashes.
lots of crashes.
Lots of car crashes.
Okay.
Murder.
You'd allow murder. Lots of people being in court being allowed to go when even though they're guilty, but you say they're not.
Well,
so carry on.
If I'm on the jury and there's me who's being prosecuted, I'd be like,
Yeah, but they're not you. They're just copies of you. It's not just you, is it?
Would
so
they
go on,
know that they're copies of me?
Okay. No, not really. It's just
Well,
that's
I'd know
just
that
the
they're copies of
yeah.
It'd be like that thing, knowing.
Well, I'd be the king then, wouldn't I?
No, but what version of you would be king?
Me, just me.
But you're all you.
You're all you.
Yeah, but they don't know that.
But they do.
No,
though.
everyone.
I know how they think.
You'd all think you were the original version.
I'll just threaten them all.
All right, hang on, let him finish it. So go on. So environmentally, so we've got a better environment, even though you go walking there, ergo damaging the environment. But fair play. Things kept in captivity, because that's just what you do. What did you call it? Subtle crime.
Subtle crime.
Or places like
Actually, he said subtle crime, then he said he'd allow murders.
You'd have no Sainsbury's because they go out of business. Nobody would shop there.
Why? Just clarify that for me.
Too expensive.
Because it's too expensive.
Nobody shops there.
Well, I mean, I think Sainsbury's would probably disagree with that.
No, but I don't shop there, which means if there was
okay, so you wouldn't.
Nobody would shop there.
Right, okay.
But you've just said you're all different.
Well,
So go on then, come on, because we need to finish. I
not
want
that different.
This is
Okay.
the pitch, yeah. Come on, next.
And that's it.
Okay. Fair. It sounds like a great world. I'm glad I'm not in it.
And everyone would be married.
Everyone
You're
will be
not
married.
married.
No, but if
But
there
in
was-
his
yeah, but
ideal world,
that's because there's
he
no
would
other versions of myself. If there was
So
a
what you're
female
saying is it'd be
version of
easier
myself-
to get married because the other versions of you are also as
He's
desperate.
not. Yeah, but
They
the
don't know,
other
they all love
the
each
other thing
other.
is what you're doing there is you're saying factually he isn't married, but since we've known him,
Yeah, all he
what's
wants to
been his
do is get
ambition?
married.
It's
That's his
be
ambition
married
in
and
life.
own a house.
Yeah.
So fair play. That's fair play.
If there's a
Ambition or
female
pressure.
version, if there's a female version of me, I'm gonna marry her, Anna. I think she's boss. She's played guitar. She's dead good looking.
And she writes depressing songs. Your house would be a barrel of bleeding laughs,
And
wouldn't
she's
it?
female.
It's an incredible insight, and I'm glad you've shared it with us. And I will do everything in my power to stop Ned World from
what I
happening.
would say is what this has made me do
everything-
as we finish is
everything-
be thankful Ned World isn't a real thing.
If I go and have loads of children all over the world,
Yeah.
then it could happen.
Well, it can't happen because you're like nearly 25, and it hasn't happened yet.
I could start easily.
He's gonna start. How are you gonna start Ned World?
I could do a year touring, just going and impregnating people, and then
Do these people get a say in it?
if they want Ned,
Is this subtle
Why
crime?
would they?
No, I'm
Okay,
just saying I could.
I've got to just come back because you
That's
just
more
said
like
if they
crime.
want Ned World to happen, why would they want Ned World to happen? Just out of interest before we go.
Because, like I've mentioned, it would be so good for the environment.
You said good for the environment. That you said subtle crime, but then you caveated it by
this
saying no, I'd allow murders.
But no, I'm just saying there probably would end up being murders because nobody writes the laws. I don't write laws.
Well, you would write the laws in Ned World out of
There has
version.
to be
of you.
order.
There's
Okay,
got to be
then.
order.
I'd say no murder.
So no murder.
No hard crimes.
You started at that, then you went back to murder.
Fair, Ned.
All right, good. Good environment, animals in captivity, subtle crime, no shop that starts in
You're
an
allowed
S
to do 47 and a 40.
and you're allowed to speed.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be the Van Helsing to your Dracula in this world. I'm going to do everything in my power to stop it.
You wouldn't be allowed in.
Everything to stop this world from happening.
I like Gabriel.
You'd have to be. It'd be like a bit like Terminator. Someone would have to come and get you and take you back to stop Ned World happening. On that note, we are finishing because Ned.
Is that how everyone would speak as well?
Ned's
Just tell them how everyone would
freaking
speak.
me out.
No, like they'd speak like me.
Go on. Oh, so they wouldn't
No,
speak.
like imagine like other version. Imagine like an American me or a Spanish me.
I've met an American you.
Imagine a Russian.
I met an American
I
you.
love my friends.
I met an American you
But it wasn't really
in Baltimore, in the fire, whatever it was called, the firehouse.
Let's end the show.
And on
End
that
the show.
note, we are going. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, 5-star review it. They can listen to it on any your normal podcast providers. Take it easy. We'll be back next week, hopefully with a foursome. Take it easy. Bye bye.
Back.